Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. Out here with the wild little notions today to drip into your ears. I love the idea that I don't want to is enough of a reason not to do something. And it has taken me years and years and years to feel comfortable with knowing that that is my truth. And maybe some of it's about getting older, but I think that probably a lot of it has a lot more to do with getting old and tired of the socialization that leaves us in a place where we are constantly being told that we should bend and reduce ourselves for other people's needs, and to make sure that we put everybody else first, and that those around us must always be prioritized, or we are not good people, or we are less than, or we haven't quite become the archetypal well-behaved woman. Only assuming that most people who listen to this are womanish, maybe socialised as women, non-binary, folk. I'm guessing there's very few cis, straight men listening to this, and therein lies our problem. Maybe we're all preaching to the converted over here. I'm guessing. If you fit into a lot of privileged boxes, do let me know. I'd love to know that you're listening to it. But I think you lot, if there are any of you listening, manage to hold on to this idea of I don't want to, and that's enough, better than the rest of us. So maybe this episode isn't quite for you. Maybe you could do with a little bit less of that. We can have some more of it, please. But for everybody else, for people listening who struggle with over-explaining themselves, with having to over-justify, with feeling like your no's have to come with a whole paragraph about how you maybe could do something else instead, or maybe you could do it later, or as long as it doesn't inconvenience anyone, or you're really terribly sorry, but maybe you could, should you do it? Would they really like you to? All of that stuff. We are kicking our feet out from under us, but most importantly, I think we are replicating and strengthening the messaging that no is not an acceptable answer for us and for the generations to come. The little uns coming up watching us look at our behaviour. They copy what we see. They learn from us. We know that this is not a good feeling. We know that no should be a full and complete sentence. And yet, if we know this and we don't act on it because it's uncomfortable for us, we are strengthening the message that even though it feels a bit wrong and we're not really up for it politically, that we are willing to try and bend ourselves into a different kind of shape to try and please other people. And the extra deeper level of why this is bullshit is because you're changing your behaviour, we're changing our behaviour to try and control what other people think about us. And we can't control what other people think about us. What other people think about us comes from their thoughts. And actually, it's not too cool to be going and trying manipulating other people's opinions by changing our behaviour, frankly, in the hope that people will like us a bit more. Even though it can feel like a very natural thing to want to be accepted and loved and safe and all of the good things in life, actually, quite often, when we go into these people-pleasing behaviours, what we're doing is not rejecting, not accepting, and not loving ourselves. And there is no amount of external validation that can fill that hole, my friend. You are pouring into a cup with no bottom on it. Here's the shittest analogy ever come up with. That's called a tube. You're pouring into a tube. It's got nothing there. It's just flowing all the way through. It doesn't work. It really does not work, and it doesn't fill your heart or send your life in a direction that you probably want to be going in. So my invitation to you this week is to find something tiny just to practice with that you don't want to do. And you can realise that if you don't want to do it, that itself is enough. I'll speak to you next week. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast here, I would love to invite you to Self-Care School. Self-Care School is a membership site where we have group coaching calls every week. We have a whole load of courses that you can dip into for whatever suits your needs. We have courses on confidence, body image, timekeeping, how to manage big emotions, overwhelm, loads and loads of stuff in there. You can kind of pick out whatever you want to work on. There is a big library of workbooks, which includes journal prompts and questions for you to be able to apply this work to your own life. And we have the most amazing community where people support each other. We learn from each other, and you get to work alongside people with quite often very different life situations to your own, and we learn so much together in community. If you would like some more of this, please do hop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.